Alrighty. Coach Burns, to start with, just thoughts on going back to Gans Creek for the second time this season. But after Chili Pepper, where do you see your team at, and what do you want to get out of this meet coming up at pre-nationals?
Yeah, we're excited to go back. Anytime you get a chance to get on a course like that, it's a really good opportunity, especially with the NCAA meet being there in November. So to get another look at it here, and be nice to have Sydney Thorwaldson Vaught get a chance to get on that course. She didn't run that first race that we went to, so I think it's going to be really important for her to get on and see that course, and kind of get some preparation going into the NCAA meet later in November. So yeah, we feel okay about where we're at. Our front three are running great. Sydney, Josephine, and Olivia look like $1 million right now, and it's great. So we just got to keep them rolling. Anytime you have some low sticks up front, you got a shot to do something. Our problem is depth right now, and we're working on that. We're going to get Bradley Weimer back here for the conference meet. We won't have her back this weekend. And she should probably be our number four. We'll see what a couple weeks of rehab did for her, but I think she looks pretty good right now coming back, and I think she'll help us. The good news is that our 4, 5, 6, Sorsha, Sanu, and Maddie Gear all look really, really good and in a much better place than they were even 2 weeks ago. So I'm excited to see where those guys are at and see what they can put together this weekend. This will be their first 6Ks of our first 6K of the year. So we have that as well. So, I think it'll be really good for them to feel that extra K. And as we go into the championship time of year where we run 6Ks, it's going to be really important for them to feel that, especially those three who are, primarily 800-meter runners on the track. And they've been building strength all year, and I feel like they're turning the corner right now, and their ability to handle a quality rhythm over extended period of time is growing week by week. And so, yeah, we'll find out where they're at this weekend. I know we'll be good up front. And then it's just a matter of where we end up on our 4, 5, 6. But, we certainly are hoping to beat some people this weekend. We won't win the race, but we'll be in the mix, and we'll beat some good teams. And that'll start with our leadership up front, and then we'll see where our 4, 5, 6 end up.
Good deal. Thank you. Evan, do you have a question?
Yeah, Coach, you kind of mentioned Sydney a little bit, obviously coming back and looking really good at the Chili Pepper Festival, winning that. Where have you seen her grow over the last couple of weeks that you're excited about where she is as she heads to, and the rest of the team heads to pre-nationals and moving forward?
Yeah, her training just continues to rise to another level. She got married on September 6th, and so her life has changed quite a bit. But one thing that stayed very constant is her her ability to train hard and take care of business from that standpoint. And she's run a couple workouts that are pretty head turning. Most recently she ran a 6 times a K workout that is every bit as good as anybody I've ever coached. And so I think as long as that translates to racing, which in her case it typically does in the short 9-10 months that I've been working with her, I think she'll be up there, and she'll be battling somewhere in the top 5 of this race this weekend, and that's going to be exciting.
And you talked about depth of your team, trying to find more depth. Where do you think the divide is between your 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and how can you work on kind of getting that all and closing that divide between your top and then your next 3?
Yeah, I think we certainly, you never go into a season planning on injuries. We just had a few injuries pop up. And like Peyton Noe is on her way back, but we're not 100% sure if we're going to get her back yet. She's running now. But in her case, in my opinion, like, she should be battling for a national title. And so if she gets back to that level, we'll run her. If she doesn't, then, we'll look at talking about a 4th, 5th year for her. And that's a big piece of our plan this year. And we'll have more depth next year. We'll just have more bodies. We'll have a recruiting class, and we'll have a little bit more time to build things out than I did coming in January. But So to bridge the gap between 3 and 4, I think Bradley will help that a lot when she comes back online. She's training right now. She's going to be traveling with us and doing a workout out there, but she's just not quite ready to race yet, and she'll be ready by the conference meet, which we're excited about. But like some big breakthroughs over the last 2 weeks, that same workout that Sydney did, Sorsha, Maddie, and Sanu all did that same workout, and their rhythm, their cadence looked phenomenal, looked better than it's looked all year. So I'm really excited to see where they end up this week. They're, like I said, they're all primarily 800-meter runners that are just building strength. So they're going to get better as the season goes on, as they get stronger. But yeah, that's going to be the key. I think that bridge will be how many of those three can we pull closer to where Bradley's going to be, and then how much can we close the gap on whomever our third runner is going to be, and that's going to determine our success ultimately in the championship segment.
I got more for you, Coach. First one, pre-nationals coming up this weekend. How do you think that this race can set you up for kind of that postseason run of the SEC championship and then the South Central region?
Yeah, it's really this weekend is always kind of the first weekend where you really get that championship feel, right? You're getting everybody's best teams. You're starting to kind of see where you stack up against some other SEC competition and South Central region competition. So I think it's going to be really good for us to kind of get a good feel for where we stand up against those teams. And this is also the time of year where the training is really kind of blossoming right now, right? Like you're finally seeing the fruits of all that really hard August, September just grind where you're running high volume and you're running just some crazy stuff, and you're always running on tired legs. And this time of year, like, our legs should be getting underneath us. We should start to feel a little fresher and have the ability to get out there and really compete against people and not be as tired as we've been. So that's really what I'm looking forward to, is just kind of seeing where we fall now. We lost 1 day of preparation because we moved the meet from Saturday to Friday, which I think is a great move on their part with the weather coming in and preserving the course. I think that's going to be an important piece going into the postseason for Mizzou. But for us, we just make a slight, a little bit of an adjustment on the workout today, and we travel tomorrow instead of Friday, and then we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the weather yet, about the plans and how they would shift, but it sounds like you just answered that for me. So that's all I got. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
You've had squads that have had real good success at pre-nationals the last 2 years in winning the team titles, and even an individual champion at Virginia with Ben Shearer. And obviously him and Tim are both on the squad that were on the team that was a winner last year. Just thoughts on where your team is and what do you look forward to going into the race on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, we're just looking at trying to do the best we can. Obviously, when we go into these races, we're trying to get our highest place finish ever. But things have changed, Sean, since last year. We lost our top 3 runners. A team that finished 3rd at the NCAA championships last year. So whenever you lose that kind of firepower, when you're scoring 5 people and you take 3 out, I mean, things have changed. So a lot of things will come into play this weekend, but again, it'll be a tough go for us.
Understand. Just thoughts on the importance of the kids getting to see the course that'll host the NCAA championships in November. Yeah.
So I'll digress here a little bit. I mean, we've got a good team. We finished. We had a good top 4 guys running at Chili Pepper. Timothy broke the course record. There's been a lot of great athletes on that course. Breaking a course record is no small item. James, our number 3 runner, brand new this year, just been on campus for over a month now. I think he broke into the top 20 on that course. So times don't really matter. It's what you do on a particular course where you can make the comparisons, right? So, I've got years and years of comparison off of the Chili Pepper course. The weather's generally been good. Course hasn't changed one bit, and so I can, you can do some evaluations after one race. And so when you look at, Timothy breaking a course record, you look at Brian having running almost a minute faster than he did last year. Our number 2 guy, you have Ben Shear, who basically equaled or was a little bit better than his all-time best on that one. You got James, our newcomer, coming in and as a freshman, getting on top 20. We got 4 solid guys. We just have to work really hard to find a 5th right now. And what complicates this race even more this weekend is that we are holding James out of the race. So James Sankey will not run. And, again, we got to take a step forward. We got to run. And so we'll probably take our licks, but it will be a really important race for our kids to get on that course. Hopefully we'll be at the national championship.
Thank you. Evan, do you have some questions?
Yeah, Coach, you kind of mentioned it right there. I know your guys at Chili Pepper went 1-2, I believe 3-5 or 1-2, 4-5. You talked about it after that. You kind of wanted to bridge the gap and get one more runner there. Where do you think you guys have made improvements there, and how do you get kind of that extra runner in to make sure that you guys are 5 strong?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about, Evan, it's just about, getting stronger, physically, as we go through, a 12, 14-week season. So we're in the week 8 right now. We got some great kids back there that are working really hard and trying to do better. It's just a question of, having those guys keep improving with their race fitness, and all of a sudden they're thrusted upon it's next man in. Okay. So these guys have got to step up and do it. And like I said, it become a little bit difficult this weekend because now we're taking one of those top 4 good guys out and saving them for the SEC meet. Got a little banged up, and there's no trophies at this meet this weekend. There's no trophies to earn. So we're gonna compete hard, but we're not going to take chances with the SEC meet 3 weeks away.
How do you think this meet, kind of to touch on the future, how do you think this meet will set you guys up for the SECs and then the South Central region in a couple of weeks?
Just great competition, kind of what I call hardening the shell, hardening that mental shell, stepping to the line and running against some of the best people in the country this weekend, see where we measure up. And again, just making forward progress each and every week, taking advantage of a season that you don't have a lot of opportunities to race. So you've got to really be ready to go. And I like that, so they got to step up and compete. And then, of course, you had the caveat of this meet being moved up to Friday, not Saturday. But I kind of like the chaos. I kind of like to see how people react to that. Kind of like to see how my team reacts to that. So it won't be a normal setup because we usually get there 2 nights out. I could have moved it back. We could have left tonight. I kind of like the chaos a little bit, and we'll see how our guys react.
That was kind of the last question I had for you, is with kind of all the schedule shifts and moving the race to Friday instead. You mentioned you like the chaos. How do you hope your team responds to all the chaos?
Embracing it. Not whining about it. Hey, we don't have an extra day to kind of get ready, get off the bus. It's still a bus ride. It's a chance for me to measure a little mental toughness, so to speak. And hey, everybody's got a race on Friday now. It's not on Saturday. People come in at different times. I just kind of, like I said, there's no trophy to win. It's just a really good race to try to have us improve and get us ready for the SEC championships. That's the one that counts, and that's the one we have to be ready for. We're not taking this meet lightly, but I do like the chaos of it. I think it'll be good to shake these guys up a little bit, and they gotta snap into it a day earlier. So
love it, Coach. That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys. Thanks.